Okay, so let's go ahead and start working. And this is different images took from photo shoot. What I found out, these two probably going to work with the one. If we look on this image closer, I like position of the hands, one down, all of this nice, but expression on the face, I don't like it. And I like expression on the face on this one. So what are we going to do? It's probably replace face from here on another ones. For this, we'll go select first and just double tap click to open inside the Adobe Photoshop. This was shot on a Canon R5, so it's in a RAW format. And you notice we open in Camera Raw. Couple things just keep in mind that in Camera Raw, I'm working with Adobe RGB color space and I'm using 16-bit channels. So this is kind of my workflow. Okay, you can always access by clicking on the bottom right here and set your settings as you need it. We'll have our highlights bring down usually to recover some of those highlights on the materials because it's a white and we'll have lots of details that I want to restore. We also have our sharpening pop-up to restore some in-camera de-aliasing this R5 provide. We'll go ahead, let's go open this image. And while this open, we'll go to second image right here, and we'll go and open this as well. So like I say, in this second image, I do like better position of the head. And we'll just keep it same. So let's go take highlight down, sharpness, all this stuff. Okay, click open. So we'll have two images now ready for us to work with. On this image, I'm selecting lasso tool. We don't need to be too precise, but I just want to go like around head, around this area. And we'll Control Command C, copy. We'll go back and paste on this image. Let's go next to just zoom in a little bit, and you notice because these two images was almost similar position on the camera, so we don't need it worry too much. Let's take our opacity down on an image and just place it. And I'm going to work with the placement probably around head a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead, take slightly down. So we'll go maybe matching what I want, match top and bottom jaw. But because it's also look down, we'll go match a little bit on our shoulders as well. Right there, I think this one will work probably about correct position for the head. Okay, right there, mostly top, it's what I want. Be sure the top is matching on the size. Okay, let's go ahead, set 100%. We'll enable mask layer on our layer, and let's go call its head so we know what it is. We'll take now brush tool, be sure it's selected as a soft round brush. Okay, and with the black color on our brush, we can start kind of removing. So let's go ahead with 30%, Control Z, undo that. I want to actually be sure I select the mask layer right here, and you can see I'm just masking in around. Very simple, we don't need it too much. This is very nice gray background to work for us. Couple things right here we need to pay attention to a little bit more. Let's go to 80% on this, and I'm just a little bit down. Let's go down to 20% now, and we can kind of blending a little bit better around here. Okay, so we don't need to worry too much about this. Should be work very well for us. Okay, if you need also, we can even bring a little bit more hair into this scenery. And you know what, let's go just see how is our hair. I'm going with 90% just to be sure that, yeah, there you go. Actually, I think this maybe will look better. We'll add a little bit more hair to this. Okay, right here, let's go back now to about 30% and blend in. This is one of the easiest blend in option. Okay, if we want to blend here on the corner, let's go to white, 100%, and we'll just like right there blend in this corner. Okay, there you go. So overall, right here you can see we already replaced the head. Okay, let's go next. Just remove some other options. Like for example, we have this soft box on the top and some corners. For this, we'll go select patch tool. Let's select our soft box and drag on the side to replace. Oops, actually, I need to select property layer. So we'll do again, select it, drag and put on the side. That is will fix for us. Don't worry too much about matching precisely because we're going to overlay some of this stuff. Okay, right here, and let's go on the top. And for this, let's press Ctrl-Shift-E, Command Option Alt on the Mac to combine all of them and bring them together. And at this point, I want to actually use it Content Aware tool to just stretch image, just to be sure it's after replace, and we'll have it wider so we can put our dragon in. I'm going to replace, hold it and click again. So it will take a little bit time, depending on your machine, how well it's works. So it may take some time. Let's go again. We'll expand a little bit more. It's okay if we have it too much. We always can shrink afterwards. One thing I'm trying to avoid to create large image at the beginning, because what's happening then it is so it kind of does not work very well. Start patching with faces and kind of replicate it, work very weird in Photoshop that way. So we'll go like right there, maybe run this way. I think this is about will be wide enough. I'm just looking what if we put a dragon head going around here and a tail. I think this is about wide enough. We of course can come back afterwards and fix it if needed. Okay, so right here it's done. We can definitely see this repetition in these areas, which is, we don't really worry about this because we're going to replace most of that stuff. Right now, let's go ahead and save this image as our reference image for the posing the dragon. So all what we need to do is just save in the JPEG. The important things what we want to do, it is be sure that our image sizes we kind of remember. And usually I remember just one number and copy paste another one. So like right here, 8101. So we remember its height for our image. And just let's go make it around to 8000 pixels height. Okay, I think that will work. Okay, next let's go save this image as a JPEG image. Okay, so we in Daz, and what I'm going to do is using this Daz dragon. I want without wings, so we'll go in figurines. Let's go import our dragon 3, Daz dragon 3. We're going inside autonomy right now because it's have wings and I think they will be a little bit on the way. So I want to go ahead, be sure dragon is selected, and we'll just click wingless. So this is one we're going to use. Next we can start posing him, and this may take a little bit time. So you can select element and you can go back and forward adjusting. If you preloaded some poses from Daz or other things, you can use them as well. There are a couple of things I do recommend for you. It is morphs, because with morphs I can go and modify head or other elements to be sure it's look in a way I like it. So adjustment. But before posing, we need to have it reference. So for this, we'll go in our right box where we have it navigation through our components. We also have it environment navigation tab. We'll click here and you notice it says non-type. We want to go select backdrop. And when it's selected from drop, we want to select browse. Okay, as we browse, we navigate to this file that we save it. You remember we have that image. So we'll go ahead, click open, and you'll notice it will loading and it's stretch out. So it's not accurate image as we have. To make properly, we want to go inside the render settings, all, and right here size. If you remember, we have it height is 8000 pixels. Let's disable the proportions, and we control command V to paste what we have it. So this is size of the image we have. So at this point we can actually take our dragon and position how we want it. So we can adjust sizes. I don't know if it's a little bit stretching. Maybe, yeah, of course it is 10,000. So let's go see. I don't think it can go higher than 10,000. Get some limitation. In this case, we're going to reduce. Okay, right there we can reduce. We also can go inside the Photoshop and just temporarily says image size. Let's go set this to 10,000. We'll reverse this and we'll say 8,800. So let's go back to our here, and it will be I think 6,800. Oops, something like that. Yeah, that is look a little bit more accurate. We don't need to be absolutely precise, but it does help. And of course we have it, our dragon preset. Again, we can work a little bit more. And what I'm going to do, I already kind of done a little bit before, and I'm going to preload that model that I already preset inside. Just a couple points, let you know. You want to readjust, set up from the top if you need a side-by-side and bend going around. It's what kind of, I'll show in a second what I was going to do. But important also, if you notice right here, we have a dragon head and with a merv. So if you want to set, let's go back to scene, select our dragon. Okay, jaw, let's open our jaw. There you go. But also you'll notice if we're going to shaping, inside the shaping we have all these adjustments. So we have it on the head. You'll notice we have it, let's select head right here. We have it all different type of head. You can morph, you can adjust, add some horns and all other things. So if you think you want to work more with the dragons, maybe create for your next work or something, you probably want to look on this pack as a dragons. Again, if we look back to our smart content right here, it is dragon morph for 3 and a dragon. So this kind of very complementary packs to work together on this one. Okay, so right here I preloaded dragon from my previous posing, and of course the sizes was a little bit different because I think I shrink image a little bit more with the model, which is we can still readjust. Again, if we're going back to render setup, we can go with 10,000 I think here. Okay, let me count properly. Yep, 10,000 by 6.8 is here by 6,000. So around this should work probably about right, and that is will be correct proportion. But overall, what you want to do, it is if you're putting like dragon background here, you can see how right there how they will work very well together. Okay, so the other points, what I want to kind of show you, it is lighting is very important in this case, because if we look, I created distant lighting, and this distance lighting should match the lighting that you produce on a photo. Because if we look back to our image, you can see the lights going from top right side. And that's what we want to do. We want to match this distant light from this point. That way we have it correct lighting. And this is one big benefit to do this way. When you photo shoot model in a studio with a tent, maybe replace background or other things, and after you can import as a backdrop in another 3D applications like Vue, or in this case Daz 3D, and then you can compose elements around this with the lighting matching that was lighting on the set. Okay, so when we done with settings, when you like with frame and everything, we want to be sure that our background set none, so we don't want any backdrop. You can even zoom out a little bit. What is important for us, it's a tilt position of the camera. Usually I will zoom a little bit more out so I can reuse. Notice right here, legs does not necessarily cross properly, but because I'm going to cut off this way, probably about to render like right here up to here. So I don't really care about how those legs. For me, most important is position of the head, body, and a tail. So it's kind of a little bit more balanced as well with the lighting. And when we render, usually I'm going in settings and disable the ground. So I don't want shadows render on the ground. As well with the environment settings, currently I'll take them a little bit below down. So by default, you will have it environment map to 2, and you'll have it environment intensity to 1 by default. So you want to take at least those ones 2 down a little bit, emphasize the distance light. Otherwise, it will be a little bit more overpower. Your HDR or environmental lighting will be overpower. Of course, you more can play around with different settings. And different on a model, I may go inside the materials, increase kind of translucity, so it will create a little bit better effect. As well, you possibly can create additional lighting. Like if the model have more than one light, I probably try to match with different lights. Or if I want to make like fire out of his mouth, maybe put lights directly in his mouth, like project light out, as the fire will do. So this is additional options for you to play around, but that is a little bit more simplistic set was, and it's the way I want to do. So when we're done, go ahead and click render to render this image. Be sure it's render and save it as a PNG with a transparent background. Okay, so when you're done rendering, let's go ahead, grab and open our image. And you can see right here, I rendered this dragon with the environmental lights a little bit lower. For some reason, the map on the eye did not render, which is okay. We can create a black eye, which is very fine with this. I do like how teeth come out. This is my translucent, so they have a nice lighting. And overall, at this point, we can actually take this dragon, drag, and drop in our position that we created. And of course, it's a little bit too small, which is fine. We'll go readjust. So I'm going press Control Command T, and we're going scale. The scale, what I want to do, be sure her hand may be positioned like around here, and a dragon going around this size. So we can, I'm just looking how it will better position, like almost, you know, touching maybe around there. And then we can a little bit shrink dragon. So play around with your composition how you want it. Overall, your idea maybe interact between, like maybe her finger touching some of this there on the dragon, but also important to be sure that her position seating is kind of matching as well. So maybe like right there. I think that one will be working very well. So when we're done, press enter, and now you can see with the position we can rescale our scenery overall. So we'll take and shrink down to match the elements how we cut with our frame. Okay, when we're done, let's go ahead just a little bit this way. I want to be sure her head kind of like almost on the middle, right there. Okay. I want to delete crowd pixels. We don't need them anymore. Reduce. So right here we have our image with rendering. We can add additional elements on a background, and it is something instead of material. We can add like buildings, castle, or some other elements. And those ones as well you can render inside the Daz or Vue or any other applications. Or if you don't want to have time spent on this, I have those elements pre-rendered, a lot of digital backdrops that are easy for you to use. You can just drag and drop, and that's what I'm going to do. It's just like Abi that I created before, just drag and drop inside here. This will be just a backdrop, and we don't need it very high resolution. We don't need it too much on this, so just like this cover. Okay, when we're done, press enter So it's a resizing, and I'm hold down Alt, click on the mask to hide out. So we'll go to add this Abbey on a back. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's take our dragon and go above. We want to hide a dragon. We'll take our Abbey, enable, and before we do this, let's retouch our main image. So we select background, we select our dragon, but I think the model will need a little bit of work on that. So let's go ahead, select spot healing brush, and we'll go inside here and closer. We don't need to retouch too much, but I just want small elements that maybe instantly jump into your eyes. Just right there. And remember, we will smoothing skin as well, creating more painting-like look. Okay, this is fine right here. Material, usually I don't kind of touch, but we have some of those wrinkles, and mostly what I'm worried about, like these parallel wrinkles. This is from material to being folded, so and I kind of want to remove some of those wrinkles. Also some skin blemishing. Let's go right there. There you go. We have it. Those kind of ugly ones. We'll fix them. Okay. Some wrinkles is okay. Natural wrinkles. However, these horizontal or vertical straight wrinkles, those is definitely come up from in folding material. And on a photo shoot, it seems like you steam out. You try to create them properly, and when you start retouching, you find you did not do a good job. So it's kind of hard to do. Okay, right here, we'll just very fast. We don't need to worry too much because we are going to smooth this as well. But we want to prepare as much as possible, removing some of these elements. Okay, so right here, and I'm just using simple healing brush because it's no complex pattern. It's just very simple material. So we don't need to worry too much. And it's Photoshop will do a very good job on this. Okay, right here. Let's go zoom out, just check. Okay, these lines look right here. See, we have this line which is take quite a bit of attention. So it's what I want to do. And okay, there you go. Just a little bit fix. I think that is look about right. Let's look check on our hands, like right there, small face look okay. Right there, and you know what, a little bit darker on this one. Let me see. Nope. We'll need to remove this a little bit in the dodge and burn, make it a bit more flatter in this case. Okay, I think that has looked good. So let's go ahead, press Ctrl Shift Alt T, Command Option Alt A to combine all layers together. Next, we'll go to a filter, noise, dust, and scratches. This way, we'll kind of smoothing out some of those elements, and depend on the resolution. Overall, what I want to do is have it a radius enough so I can recognize eyes, everything, but I don't see those teeny tiny details. So this is what I want to do. I'll go ahead, click OK, and we'll call this model. Let's go call it smooth, and on smooth we hold down Alt Option, click on a mask. It's creating black mask for us. Now we have it our brush. We can come closer with a 10% opacity. I'm working with a mouse. If you work with the Vicom pad, you can be touch enable. And overall, I'm just try to remove some of this texturing from the skin. And texturing can come from the poor lighting if you have it pixelizations, or any other just lighting reasons. The overall, if you notice, I'm avoiding touching the hair, eyelashes, eyes, lips, wherever I need details, because their wrinkles is good. So if we look actually on the image, you can see I'm avoiding eyes, avoiding lips, hair, and then sometimes you actually can go back here and just touch up in the elements where you miss it. Okay, that we're done on the face. Let's go now. Same we'll do on the hands, just to match with the overall smoothness. If we don't do this, it will come up quite a bit, look little bit off. That won't look properly. Okay, so we'll done this one. Let's go ahead next. Also her legs and here another hand right there. And it's okay if you go a little bit over. Remember, we're going to replace the backdrop, so it's okay to step out. One other things is why we try to smooth. Removing digitalization will make your eyes not focus so much. So if you have a teeny tiny details or pattern in your image, the eyes, when viewer look, they will try to go look on those small details. It's what by the nature we are attracted to this. So leave it, some of those details will make them focus on this. By removing them, we are forcing them look to on eyes or waist high details. So right now I'm just, after done with hands, same things, I'm just going over her clothes, and you can see I'm just smoothing a little bit right there. We don't need too much smoothing, but it does help us to create this more paint effect on her outfit as well. And it does not remove all of wrinkles, but it's remove those teeny tiny wrinkles. Like, let's go look closer right here. You can see it's a mess a little bit, and by doing this we remove it. If you paint like with oil or anything, it's probably what you're going to do. You take a big brush, you won't go too much in details, but you create those strokes with the brush. Or actually almost this one is look like knife, you know, painting knife, so it's look like you some done with that. Okay, and again we'll smooth out right there. Let's go ahead, zoom out. The bottom probably won't see it, but it's okay. So we'll, there you go. Okay, when we're done smoothing everything, so let's go ahead right now, look on her hair. And I do like how it's going, but we want to little bit clean up. Control Shift Alt E, not even clean up, you know, but create more painty kind of effect. And for this we'll go filter, stylization. On a new layer we'll go stylize, oil painting, and in oil painting we'll just say stylization 10, cleanliness 10, brush details 2. You can play around with the settings. Overall, if we click OK, it will create effect, and I'm just ignoring everywhere else. What I mean to focus just on the hair, and you can see we lost some beautiful details here, so we don't need to apply everything very heavy. We'll just apply slightly. Now let's go to also go sharpen sharp mask, just add a little bit more depth to our hair. Okay, like maybe around here. Okay, next we'll have it again, Alt or Option, and click on a mask to hide what we created. Come, let's go ahead closer to view, and with soft brush 10%, I'm just going to paint in slightly this effect, not everywhere, just in most important, like right here, this area where we're more straight, kind of will be very visible. Okay, we can add a little bit more just to the stroke. And I say, if we're doing too much on this area, we lose some of this effect. I don't want to apply a lot, just only mostly on the top where it was more straight. So it will help us to create, add a small effect of the painting kind of hair to reduce some of this noise. Okay, we'll create this next. Let's go ahead and next we'll create new layer, and we'll call this dodge and burn. And we're going to fill with a 50% gray, normal mode, 100% opacity, and switch to soft light. Okay, then we have it brush, we can have 10%, same soft brush. We can start adding some of the shadows and highlights. I'm not adding too much environmental because we'll change this. I'm just right now try to emphasize shape of the face. Okay, maybe just reduce a little bit right here on the cheek. There you go. And this shape of the face is what help us. Remember, the luminosity, it's actually what is give it shape. Okay, we want to be careful a little bit right here. Let's go bring closer. Let's add highlights to the nose. Okay, highlights to the forehead, a bit on the chin, yeah, as well, just line on the lips. So just add a little bit highlights, and on the eyes, I get a little bit right there. Okay, and after. So just add a little bit more to this. Okay, let's go ahead. Again, black color, and we'll just add a little bit more depth. For example, like on her legs, we'll just add where the muscle tone will go. Okay, a little bit on her hands. Okay, also we can add to the clothing. Remember, we don't do too much environmental. This is just to help with some shaping. Okay. Overall, if you can see the muscles where they're going, so it's what we're going with creating this kind of highlights of the light. Where's it going? Like right there. There you go. We'll probably go switch and adjust some stuff right here a little bit. Kind of looks not right. Okay, there you go. A little bit better on the face. Okay. Of course, this all will be a little bit more changing later. This is just a primary right now. Set up with lighting. Okay. So we're done. Preset lighting, everything. Now we can start work on a backdrop overall. And the backdrop, I'm going to use it soft round. Okay. On a mask, we want to white color, and we can go just with a plain white and start bringing in, and you can see we can bring the background in. Don't worry if you overdo too much, we can always come back, but it just does help a little bit with the environment. So same like behind here, I don't worry too much about hands or other things, just a little bit. We don't need it too much. It's something just be on a background, okay? Better than just a gray color, and give it some stories. If you want, you can be a little bit more precise, and you can get like pen to go over her, which is actually will be very easy just to take it and mask her out with a pen tool. But I think it's worked just fine. Right there. Next, let's enable dragon, and you notice the dragon is actually already PNG masks, which is actually very good, very easy for us, but we do need to mask a little bit where she's sitting. So for this, we'll add mask layer to the dragon. Okay, and we'll use it black color. We want to use it for this hard round, okay? And we want to use it 100%. So what we're going to do, it is, let's go switch to black color, just like this. Go over here some elements, her feet, maybe like this one, going close, slightly around, so you can open and just see how it will go. How much we can apply, and I'm actually thinking maybe right here, yeah, with the clouds start going down. Okay, same this element right there, we can kind of going a little bit more down, and you notice it's a flat, which is okay if it's flat, because remember, luminosity is what will create for us shape. Okay, when we're done, we can come closer. And if we isolated model before, we don't need to worry about this, but because I was a little bit lazy and didn't do this, I can just use my normal brush. Remove it right there. Okay, let's go a little bit closer. Okay, we can add, yeah, let's go, you know what, let's go ahead and just add like right there. Okay, this will be we also will add shadows to this area. So if you don't want it, you don't necessarily can remove all of this, because it will be same about shadowing behind. However, I do like give it a little bit cleaner that way. Okay, right here, let's go to remove closer, and there you go. Okay, same things. Okay, adjust here. We'll go adjust a little bit around this area. There you go, a little bit, and you can press X key to switch between foreground, background, and because it's a white and black, you'll have it remove kind of masking or unmasking. Okay, the one thing keep in mind, I'm coming a little bit closer here, but we will putting some fog and okay, and let's go a little bit closer right there, and we have it. Okay, so right there, and I'll just go erase closer. Again, we'll have it smoke or fog going down below, so we'll be okay on this, but it still be nice if you're creating. Okay, so right here we have it, our model. It's a very rough placement in this moment, but I think this already give it us. First, let's go create shadows, and we want to create shadows of the model on our dragon. And here's things dragon on the top. What we're going to do is create new layer. For now, we'll go select as a multiply mode. We want most time use it multiply mode for the shadowing, and we're going to hold Alt key and click on the clipping this shadow to our dragon, which is actually nice because whatever we do now effect on this, and you can see right here, it will apply only to the dragon itself. So let's go ahead and create take something on a background color, 10% opacity. We want to use it our soft round brush for this, and we can just start kind of painting on us. Actually, right here I notice I miss a little bit right here. Yeah, let's do this one. Let's finish. For some reason, somehow I missed a little bit on a masking. Okay, we'll go down here. And we'll just mask back here. Yeah, I did miss a little bit right here. Okay, and let's go down there. Just rough something like that. Okay. Also right there I can see with dragon transparency, because I think I applied gray right there. So let's go ahead. Yep. Okay, so yeah, it's what we want to do. X, we'll go to soft round. Let's go with the 50%, and we'll just paint back right around the area, because it's a dragon covering for us here, so we don't need really worried about that stuff. Okay, back to our shadowing. Okay, soft 10% opacity. Now we can kind of paint a little bit just under. And you remember what I said, right here we'll come back again to this darker, and it's what we're creating. We're creating just a little bit shadowing coming from this material, and we'll need to obviously add more shadowing on the model itself because it's both shadows will cast, but it will create kind of look. Okay, right here, a little bit darker this way, apply a little bit more by the feet. We'll need match her feet to the shadows and luminosity in this. If you have a sometimes hard time to look because color may be on a way, you can always going and create new layer. Okay, and actually, you know what, let's create black and white, and a black and white will help you a little bit more with the luminosity level if you want to do this. Okay, so we're gone right there, and you can see already the shadows help us a little bit place here on the dragon. Okay, we want to also add a little bit like right there. So as she's sitting around, a little bit from material, and also material need to look a little bit more darker. So let's go ahead, just above dodge and burn, let's create new layer. Let's call it shadow as well. Again, switch to multiply mode, and this one is just right here. See how it's going? So we'll add a little bit more shadowing to her feet, shadowing right there, just where the lights kind of going down and hiding maybe, and also like this luminosity right there, a little bit darker. There you go. Okay. Again, if we don't leave it too much, we can remove it by whitening up those areas, but we'll have a dodge and burn. But overall, you can see we have it nice, beautiful already shadowing, casting, and it's creating this fall element. Okay, let's go actually on a dragon. As we work with the shadows, we can actually utilize same thing. So let's go ahead, use it black on the shadow, 10%, and I just want to add dark to the eye. And one nice thing about multiply will go to absolute black color, which is kind of nice, but this way we can create like almost black zombie look eye. Okay, there you go. I think that will look a little bit better. Okay, next, till we're on a shadowing, let's go create a little bit shadow on the tail to match. In general, it's just to match lighting on her, and we can see where's the lighting coming, because right here will be a little bit darker. And because we're done in a Daz, those lights was a little bit more environmental, and environmental lights, they're not bad, but they give it too much light, and it's not we can easy going in the shadows, but it's much harder going into the highlights. So and it's this way, because we have all of this, we can very easy just going and add this shadowing on our dragon, kind of matching a little bit. Okay, let's go create also additional layer, fill up with 50% gray. It's will going dodge and burn, clip to our dragon. Let's go to soft light, and this way we can a little bit more touch up on highlights and shadows. So right here I can create a little bit better some highlights, some more directional kind of almost, you know, like right here, like his nose, and a little bit on the teeth right there. Creating, okay, and also we can add a little bit more depth shadow. So it's just additional way to adjust slightly. Okay, right there. Let's create shadows. Okay, zoom out, and before and after, it just add a little bit more dimension, I think, to our scenery. Okay, so we created position. We created some shadows. Let's go to add little bit first our environmental dodge and burn. So global dodge and burn, let's go call it's 50% gray, soft light. And right here what I want to do, it is reduce some of those lights in a far away, because lighting going from this direction, and also highlights from here and create lights like almost going on her face from there. So this is our first kind of like directional light. Okay, so we add lights here and a little bit at her. We can also just switch to white, and if you want it, let's go 30%. We'll one click, second, so we can create like almost ray lights going. Okay, 10%, and just move a little bit on them. Okay, let's go back to dark and add shadows right here, a little bit lower. You know, maybe just a little bit, not too flat. Okay, next let's go ahead and add some of the smoke and fog to this. We'll go up front first, right here, and we'll go just select from Ron's bundle again, purchase them on Daz, and we're going with the fog. Let's select maybe like first fog. This one will work good. X 10% on a white, 100%. And I'm just going to just add a little bit right there. Okay, this will be our first layer. We can take just slightly down, adjusting, so create second layer. We'll combine them after. And now we can kind of almost play a little bit more. We can select different type of fog. Also, steam work very well. They depend on what library you have it, and you can see the steam kind of come up very good. So we can add this one. Yep. Okay, let me increase size. Add the steam there. Okay. A little bit different. There you go. This one a little bit more automated. So we'll just go set. Well, remember what I said, we kind of start hiding a little bit how they're going right there. So just a little bit like, okay, there you go. Add a little bit here. Now when we create first, now I want to hold down Alt key, sample a little bit color, and going with different color. You'll notice it sometimes will be darker, lighter, but this will create this depth on the layers on the smoke, because I found out when I create with one single color, it's not necessarily look very good. Actually, it's look much better when we sample colors around and kind of creating this way. Okay, so this was up front. Now we want to go behind or underlayer our dragon. Okay, let's call it fog right there. And we're going to select a little bit wider. And we'll just go create on the back. And you can see, because it's going behind our dragon, it's helped kind of almost putting dragon in a scenery a little bit more interesting this way. Okay, well, I don't need it right there. We'll put it in a fog. Yeah, right there. I think this is kind of add almost like the dragon laying inside it. So let's go add one more. Okay, group this one. Okay, let's go create one more layer. And this is something that comes from the dragon. So we'll go again in a Steam. And let's see if we can find properly Steam. I think this one may work. Okay, let's Control T. Adjusting, so placing like this from his mouth, like he's breathing. There you go. I think that will work fine. Just right there, just like coming from his mouth, just to create a little bit look. Maybe right there, so it does not take too much attention. Okay, also now let's add something to her hand right here, because she's pointing kind of on a dragon, but we don't have it. What I'm going to do is using drag element, and I create this in Chaotica. So I have different backgrounds. It's actually Chaotic work very well for the fractal. And so we'll add on the top. Let's go add curve to this. Link it, set curve to luminosity. And we'll just take black color and take down on a black, set our spirals to screen. And now I can actually go back a little bit more and just be sure the black matching. So the black is disappear this way, and now we can go closer. Okay, let's go select background right there. Okay, and maybe, you know, just move it slightly over her face. It's help us to merge together. Just overall, kind of like right there, I think. Let's give it ability so we may control it. I don't know, some fairy tales, whatever we can do it. The color, of course, a little bit, it does not match color on the dragon and her, so we needed adjustment for this one. We'll go with a dragon, maybe above dodge and burn. Let's create curves. We'll go clip these curves down to our dragon. We'll switch to the color mode. And in color mode, let's go with the blue, and we can adjust just slightly, create a little bit warmer on the dragon. So yellow, let's go to red. Maybe too much red, just a little bit down. Let's go to the green and add a little bit of green. Just add a little bit more coloring to this. So same, I think the model is a little bit more in magenta color as well. We can go just above the fog. Background right there. Yeah, let's go just right here before dodge and burn. And we're going to add another color curve. So we'll go select curve. We'll go switch this to the color mode. And the same, going to the blue. Let's go to a little bit yellowish on this color. And in a green, we'll go in a green from magenta, opposite. So just a little bit add, like around there. Overall, tone them kind of together. Okay, next, let's go ahead on the top. We have our black and white layer. Let's go re-enable. We'll go reuse this. And I want to just take overall, kind of add depth to this and reduce some saturation. Maybe around that area we can see just slightly reducing saturation. Okay, next let's go create another global layer. And this one will be going to multiply, so it will be a little bit deeper shadows. Okay. And we'll just take our brush, select round, soft round. That's what we need to do. 10%, go select darker color. And this one will just add a little bit more shadows down below, because we still have fog here, but it is kind of a little bit out of lighting. So that's what I want to do, just add a little bit more shadowing. And this is also help us keep it attention on our model, like right there. Okay, let's go create new layer. Again, we'll fill up with a 50% gray. We'll go to soft light at our dodge and burn. And we're going to set white a little bit, so we'll add a little bit more brightness around her face and a little bit more shadowing again around. It's usually I do always more than just one layer, kind of help me. Okay, we also can cast lighting from this area, like right there, coming, and on a tail, hiding just a little bit right there. Okay, play around with this, see how you think it will work for you. If you think it's you want to add a little bit more lighting or other effect, but this is total creative point in this. It's how you prefer to create your compositings. So next I'm going to Control-Shift-Alt-E, Command-Option-Alt-E to create new, and this one will take all layers combined, and I want to use the actual filter forge for this. So we go to filter, filter forge, we'll go open, and I'm going to use it actually color adjustments. This is a phototone, the filter I created. It just helped me a little bit faster to adjust some colors. You don't necessarily need to use it. You can use it with the curves if you want it, but for me just a little bit faster and easier to do this. And by the way, the filter itself, it's free. However, you need to pay for the filter forge if you decide to use. You don't necessarily need it. And I'm going to just a little bit readjust, tweak here with the lights color. Just give it a little bit more depth to this. Okay, when we're done, let's go ahead, click apply. It should take the colors we just did it and apply in one layer. Okay, and you can see it does add kind of a little bit more painter effect to ours. Okay, so maybe a little bit too much. We'll go with 70% on this. Let's create new layer. And this layer, 50% gray, I want to add as a grain. Okay, we'll go to filter, noise, add noise. 10% noise should be good for this. We'll go to soft light. What we've done with this, we just add kind of noise which is help us blending, because remember we smooth the skin, but we implement some other elements, so it kind of sometimes does not look as same with the noise. It's help us to uniform, give it grain to all of this. And after this we can work with selective colors. So on the selective colors we start with the black. We'll take just maybe a little bit, maybe about 2% from the black. Let's go to about -2 green, blue, a little bit in a greenish, and maybe reddish or cyan. I never decide which one I like better. But whatever we've done, we want to do a little bit opposite on the neutrals. So if we're going cold in one way, we can go to warm in another. That way our lights become a little bit more complementary between shadows and highlights, so they work a little bit better this way. Again, we don't need a very dramatic change, but it does help look kind of more uniform this way. You can play a little bit more with the lighting as you want it. And this is, of course, it's all optional for you to create it. So let's go next. We're going to add some title if you want it, or your name, whatever you want it. So I'll just go put it right here, and we're going to make it not that much visible, just a little bit right here. Okay, and let's combine all of this, what we did modification, together. Okay, call it retouching, and let's see what we have it. This is what is before, and this is after. So again, our little bit image, what we done work before and after. We combine a couple images, replacing a face on her. We created in Daz the dragon with a take image as a reference on the background, so we can compose a little bit easy for her to sit down. And we imported inside all these components inside Photoshop and compositing them together. Again, creating our own little bit story. You can use this for illustration. Currently this white format is, I found it's kind of nice to create on a Facebook or a social media, other ones if you need it. Instagram, you probably want to do a little bit more vertically, but for other areas it's worked very well. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give us thumbs up, subscribe on YouTube, A lot of these backgrounds and everything, if you're interested in other elements, they're available for the Patreon supporters. You can download for free when you become Patreon supporter, or you can purchase them on my Gumroad store. It will help me to keep on going. So I greatly appreciate all your help. And if you have any questions, let me know. Put your comments, like, subscribe, and give it notification button to see when his new videos is out. Thank you.